Hello, everybody. This is Ann McElhenney.
And I'm Phelim here.
Welcome to the Ann Phelim Scoop. And we are not in our normal home.
In Venice.
In fact, we're in somebody else's home. The one and only, Dennis Prager.
Yes.
It's great to have you in my home.
Thank you.
This is not your first time in my home.
No, it's not.
It's kind of an annual
It's becoming an annual thing.
No, you're here even when we don't do a podcast.
That's
correct.
True. That's
That's
true.
true.
People should know. Is it okay to tell people we're very friendly?
Yes.
I think it is.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because people want full disclosure,
Yeah, they do.
that sort of thing.
And it's Thanksgiving, by the way. And I want to say, if I don't get to say it at any other time, I am really grateful for you and for Sue and for your friendship.
It's mutual, as you well know.
And you've taken in these two immigrants and made us feel very at home. Thank you.
It was hard, but once I got through the accent...
And the weird customs.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you, Dennis, for allowing us in your home. I just want to introduce Dennis to anyone who doesn't know you. I suppose the first thing to say is you're a native of Brooklyn.
That's right.
Back when Brooklyn was Brooklyn.
Well, Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan. I lived in 3 of New York's boroughs.
Wow. Okay. But most people know you as Dennis Prager, the host of the talk show, the Dennis Prager Show,
right,
on the Salem Network, or they know you as the founder of PragerU, the online phenomenon, actually, that has now over 2 billion views on YouTube.
2 billion with a B.
Yeah. And you know that PragerU has been really successful because it's been attacked so often by the mainstream media. So I'd love to talk about that later on. You're also a leader in Jewish life, it'd be fair to say. I think the Jewish Week described you as one of the 3 most interesting minds in American Jewish life. But you're also a critic of your co-religionists, stating that the real religion of most American Jews is liberalism. Did I hear you say the other day that you're self-diagnosing yourself as the most hated Jew in America?
Oh, among Jews? The Jews of the left don't like me.
No.
Right.
And it's very sad because I've done a great deal for Jews in Judaism. I don't lose sleep over it at all, but I recognize a fact as a fact. It's precisely because I have done so much in Jewish life. I've written actually co-authored the most widely used introduction to Judaism, one of the 2 most widely read commentaries on the Torah, founded a synagogue, founded a Jewish day school, helped lead the Soviet Jewry movement. So, and that's just some of it. So, to have that Jew as a conservative, see, if I were not affiliated with Jewish life, it'd be irrelevant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that I'm inside, but I'm not a leftist, is disturbing to many Jews, and it's just sad. Yeah. I don't care personally, but you sort of to be honest, I'm disappointed in a lot of my fellow Americans.
Yeah. Not just the Jews. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's kind of how I feel about people who are anti-Trump, who have Trump derangement syndrome. They're missing out on a lot. You feel sad for them, right? They're
missing out on the humor.
Yeah.
Well, they're missing out. Look, don't start me. I mean,
yes.
what
we are starting you.
Okay, yeah, that's true. You are.
I haven't even finished
you're right. I am the only guy
who
who interrupts his own introduction.
I already have a question, by the way, based on what he
Yes.
just said.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the intro. Look, man who needs no introduction. You're constantly on the road. You're constantly speaking at Jewish events, at political events.
Well, actually, I now speak in churches more than synagogues.
Interesting. And
it is interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Yes.
It is. And actually, I remember meeting someone from Salem, and they said they just met someone who'd converted to Christianity after listening to Dennis Prager.
That's right. Well, I claim
the Jews don't like him.
No. That's very funny. That they don't care because that doesn't register. It registers as I'm conservative.
Yeah.
A black shouldn't be a Republican.
Correct.
A Jew shouldn't be a Republican. A Hispanic shouldn't be. A woman shouldn't be. Only white, cisgender, heterosexual Christian males should be Republican. That's the thinking.
Yes.
So,
and we're the racists.
I'm sorry?
And we're the racists.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, exactly correct.
So, you you think it's very important being happy. Happiness is very important. You have a happiness hour. You're
I wrote in a book on happiness.
You wrote a book on happiness. For you, gratitude is very important, and that's why we're particularly glad to talk to you here on Thanksgiving, where so many people after 2020 and COVID and the election are wondering what is there to be thankful for. But we'll come back to that.
We're going to come back to that.
I wanted to talk about the election now, but I wanted to talk about something that's very important here right now. We're in LA County here, and it's just been announced that all the restaurants are being closed.
For 3 weeks.
Indoor and outdoor.
Indoor, outdoor.
During the season that gives them their income. Christmas and Thanksgiving.
And a lot of people probably don't know this about Dennis, but Dennis, and I think I'm not, telling a secret about you because I think it's an interesting thing. You do not like to eat at home. Is that the way to way to correct it? By the way,
I am a wife's dream.
You are.
I don't want to be fed meals by my wife. That is correct.
This is incredible stuff.
By the way, it comes from a very interesting place, which is relevant to everything that we're talking about. I'm very strong into understanding myself, even from high school. I wanted to understand me. And so I think you know this, but it'll crack up your audience if you know it.
Yes.
At the age of 14, I was sophomore in high school, and I said to my parents, is it okay with you if I eat out and not at home, except on weekends? On the Sabbath, I knew 14. That they would at 14. So starting at either 14 or 15, to their credit, my parents gave me money to eat out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I was home Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 4 days a week, I ate out. And so here's the thing. I have this deep psychological fix that eating out equals freedom.
Yeah.
And I am crazed by freedom. It's why I hate the left. The left suppresses freedom. There is no exception to that in the history of the world, wherever the left has existed. Liberals, no. Liberals are okay with freedom. The left is not. But liberals vote for the left, so it's irrelevant. But I do make that distinction. So I hated communism because of the suppression of freedom. That's my nature. I yearn to be free. By the way, most people don't. Most people yearn to be taken care of.
Yes, they do.
This is a very big problem in human nature. But that's the reason
I
psychologically like eating out.
I would kill for a photograph of you at 14 were you sitting alone in some restaurant, like
yes.
in a deli or whatever?
Yes, that is exactly correct.
And you thought that was wonderful.
Wonderful? It was heavenly.
Now your mother, I want to talk about her for a moment here. And we just need to put it right out there. Could she cook?
She was a great cook.
Dennis.
Oh, there was only 1 day a week. No, I will say this. 1 day a week. No, she was a great cook. She cooked, though, on the weekends for the Sabbath and Sunday.
Okay.
So on the weekdays, we had a housekeeper. We were a middle-class home, but we still had a woman who came in because both my parents worked.
She couldn't cook.
She cooked great, too. But Wednesday nights was liver.
Oh, no. That's no good.
And in my view, fasting is way preferable. If they said...
That's totally true.
Yes, is that correct?
I know.
Sorry,
it's very funny. There are very few things. There are very few things in this world.
That's right.
That I have a strong. I am with you.
Yes.
Liver cannot be done.
No.
Nothing.
There's nothing you could do with it.
I think I was put on this planet to defend liver.
Oh no.
Liver and onions. Liver wrapped in bacon. Now, obviously.
By the way, it's one thing you never get in our house.
Yeah.
And do you go out to get it?
That's
no,
right.
He doesn't.
So as much as she loves you, no liver, man.
No liver. It's not happening.
No man is worth a liver.
Liver is a much maligned food because it's cooked inappropriately.
That's not.
Okay, there is the only appropriate way to cook liver is to burn it till it's ash.
Yeah.
That is the.
I'm with you.
Yes.
I think that's the recipe.
Yes, and leave the onions. I love onions. I'm with you.
I'll take the onions.
Yeah, I know. We're often asking people to comment on our YouTube channel, but this deserves comments. I think the world's divided in between people who hate liver, and
Yes,
me and 3 people who like
that
liver.
was what I was going to say.
So
It's
you would go
95
out-
to 5.
Yeah.
You would go out. You were 14. You would go out.
Yes.
You're sitting in the deli. Would you go with your own? You'd be on your own.
I'd be on my own. First of all, what I would do is very simple. I lived in Brooklyn, but I went to Manhattan for bookstores. You have to understand, I marched to the beat of a different drummer from such a young age. When I look back at my high school years, I think, wow, I must have been weird, but I wasn't. I was the class president. Kids liked me, but I had completely different tastes. Do you know that in high school I taught myself how to conduct symphonies? I mean that's
Did you
bizarre.
smoke? Did you smoke? Did you drink?
Yes,
Did you take a drink?
Yes, no.
Okay, good. All right.
No. I love vices. I was never an angel.
Okay.
I was always a good guy, but I was never an angel.
But you tried to drink and thought, I'm not having
I
that
didn't
again.
I didn't like alcohol, but I started smoking cigars at 16.
You're Jewish, of course you didn't like alcohol.
Yes, isn't that funny? Well, though my father did, he had a scotch on the rocks every night.
That's not liking alcohol.
That's
Lent. In Ireland we call that Lent.
He's so right. You're
call
right. That is a
that's-
Jewish definition of liking alcohol.
Yeah, in Ireland you're in the AA. I only drink. You're an alcoholic. I only drink once.
That makes me think about my father, who drank very, very little.
Well, he was English.
When he would have like a gin and tonic on a Sunday, and then when it
That
came
was
to,
it?
Basically,
he
he
wasn't
basically had a
Irish,
couple, a gin and tonic, whatever, on a Sunday, or maybe 2 gin and tonics, and then when Lent would come, which is this, you know what it is.
Right, he would
when
deprive himself of
He'd
that.
say, "I'm going to give," and you know what he should have given up?
What?
Sugar,
Oh.
which would really have hurt him, right? 'Cause
Yes.
that's
But
because
him giving up a drink was like, was.
we have to move on because we have to talk about an awful lot of
Wait,
stuff
why
here.
did he give up on Lent? Did your family give up anything?
Oh yeah,
on Lent?
all the time.
What'd you give up?
I remember I gave up sugar in my tea once.
I gave up television one
I
time.
used to give up alcohol for Lent.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, terrible.
One guy called me once, a Catholic guy, and he goes, "Dennis, I want you to know, I won't be listening to you next month." I go, "Why?"
Oh, I give you
Lent,
up.
and I'm giving you up. You're my pleasure.
Oh.
I thought, there's something wrong with that.
There's something wrong with
Well,
that.
See, she should have done sugar too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not, but it was a very cute thing.
It was
It's
cute.
sweet.
Oh no, it's a pleasure. It has to. You have to feel.
It has to hurt you. It has to hurt you.
It has to hurt you.
Yeah, yeah. That's the Catholics, you see.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
You
Yeah.
know who we are. This
Right.
is what we do.
Yes.
So we want to talk about, well, I don't know. Do we? I don't even know if I want to talk about the election. You did mention that, by the way, in the introduction, that you don't lose sleep over something. And I'm just thinking,
I'm very
a lot
lucky.
of people
I'm
are
very
losing
lucky.
sleep,
Yes.
by the way, during the pandemic. You're not losing sleep.
One of the reasons is that I fight. I think the antidote to depression, to macro depression, I don't have micro depression, thank God, but to macro depression is to fight.
Mm-hmm.
I go to bed every night thinking I really gave it my all, and that's very helpful. And then the rest is in God's hands, as they say, and that's really it. But I think when you feel helpless, you lose sleep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's a big factor.
Yeah.
Well, talking of feeling helpless, so here we are. We're filming. See the way I segued there.
Very nice segue, Phelim.
Yeah, I could be.
I tell you, you could be a professional at
Yes.
this thing, you know.
We're here on Monday night. We're filming this on a Monday night, and we don't know what's going to happen the next couple of days. In your opinion, was the election legit?
I don't know, which is in and of itself a very sad answer.
Yes.
Yes.
I would never have said that in the past.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I simply don't know. I'm not making assertions, but I wish I could say to you, yes, it was legit, and c'est la vie, and we have to fight harder. But there are so many anomalies.
Yes.
There are 2 factors that make me wonder. The anomalies. First, this is the first incumbent president in 150 years. I believe this is the statistic.
Wow.
Who got more votes when he ran the second time and did not win.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I could give you, there are anomalies
Yes,
like
yes,
that.
totally.
Yes.
The man won 18 of 19 counties where it was their bellwether
Yes.
counties.
Yes.
Had always gone with the president. He won Florida. He won Ohio.
Yes, which always go. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and he lost cities
that took a mysterious break at 10:30 at night for
Yes,
the night.
yes, that's correct. And let me just add the second thing. I said there were two things: all these anomalies, and there were this of this. I am certain. If the Democrats could cheat, they will cheat.
Yes.
And there were two reasons. One, they have in the past. I'm sure they did with Nixon, Kennedy. But the other is they have a moral defense.
Yes.
If you truly believe you can stop a fascist, neo-Nazi, white supremacist
Hitler.
dictator from ascending to the presidency,
Yeah.
you are morally obligated to cheat.
You're not morally defensible. It's not morally defensible. You're right. Morally obligated.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So
They can't have it both ways. Oh, we would never cheat, but he is Hitler.
yes.
No.
Yeah.
Then there's something wrong with you. You wouldn't cheat to prevent Hitler from taking over?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, what do we do next? You talked about fighting? What's the
one thing that people who love this country and love its values, I think they have to withdraw from many of its institutions. And it's a very hard thing to do, very hard to take your kids out of school and homeschool them or send them to a religious school that actually teaches values. They exist. They're not common. A lot of Christian and Jewish schools are essentially
dreadful.
exactly
social justice?
Yeah.
right. But there are some legit Christian and Jewish schools. We have to figure out a way to make homeschooling really easy.
Yes.
Because sending your child to elementary school, high school, or college in the United States is
It's child abuse. Sorry.
No.
It's adult abuse.
It's interesting. It's actually parental abuse because that's what they will get from their child. I have said for years, sending your kid to college is playing Russian roulette with their values. But if I want to use that metaphor properly, Russian roulette is on the gun has only one bullet.
Yeah.
With college, high school, and elementary school, only one chamber is empty.
Yeah.
So the odds are your child will be poisoned.
Yeah.
And ultimately, often against you.
Yes.
So I don't think we have to withdraw. The most important thing I say all the time is everything the left touches, it destroys.
Yeah.
Art, music, religion, college,
Thanksgiving.
elementary school,
But
Thanksgiving, Christmas.
They also need to stop. They also need to stop funding these institutions. When you say withdraw, it's just not take the people out; it's take the cash out. I mean, stop giving money to the Lincoln Center. Stop giving money to Harvard alumni, the Harvard Alumni Association. Stop giving money to Yale, because Did you see what happened to Ted Hughes in the British Library?
Oh yeah.
No.
I mean, so the British Library decided we're now So this is what happens when you give money to institutions.
They've decided to create a section where they're designating books that they're
funders and backers and people and books that they have. Basically, so funders, backers, and people who've helped create the British Library and authors. There's a place for them now where they will give you the bad history of that person. So if someone gave them $2 million in 1930, they'll discover, well, actually he owned a plantation in Indonesia.
His people.
Oh yeah,
Is that right?
Yes, and they'll tell you
Ted
this.
Hughes.
Well, so they've gone to Ted Hughes, and they put Ted Hughes, the poet, in this grouping because he has an ancestor.
1540.
300 years ago, an ancestor was involved in the first colony in the United States, not slavery, but in setting up the first colony.
Ted Hughes.
In the United States. So he's responsible for his ancestor setting up a colony in the
300
United
years
States.
ago.
And he's in the banned list of the British Library. So this is what happens. If you give money to the British Library now, you'll find they'll go through your past and find an ancestor who did something bad, and you'll go on a blacklist. So, and this is coming to America. They probably got it from some Berkeley or somewhere.
And plenty of conservatives, by the way, are involved in that
Yes.
in that funding of this kind of nonsense because they want to be in with that crowd, in with the Rockefeller Center or in with the Lincoln Center.
I have no comment. It's entered the realm. It's almost beyond evil and absurd. It's entered the realm of absurdity.
Yes.
You know, I'm reading because I'm very involved in classical music. I conduct orchestras, as you know, periodically, and so I'm reading a book on Wagner, the great German opera composer of the 19th century, mid and late 19th century. So Wagner, who was a giant musician, was also known. He was very, very outspoken Jew hater. I mean, he's a major anti-Semite, and he's a general racist. Hated blacks too, but there were no blacks
Equal
in Germany to
opportunity
hate.
racist.
No blacks are right for
Right.
it.
So
I
basically,
But he defeated them anyway.
It's kind of like Irish people. They're not that anti-Semitic because there wasn't enough Jews, but they still managed a little bit of it, actually.
that's correct. Yeah, that's very funny. So in passing, the author, who's a liberal, is the New Yorker classical music correspondent, and he notes W.E.B. Du Bois, who was a hero of black radicals, loved Wagner. And basically Du Bois said, I know he's a racist, so what? I love his music. So here is Du Bois even this idea that I judge art or literature by the person who made it is brand new.
Yeah.
Literature stands on its own. Art stands on its own. The biggest scumbag could have written the greatest symphony. I'm hearing the symphony. I'm not taking the guy's personal life. What is my business?
Yeah.
It's their children. The left are children. They don't know how to take life seriously.
Yeah.
What do I care about those issues? Now, if a guy writes a book that is despicable, then I attack it. Yeah. Obviously. Yeah.
You're right. Actually, you're right. They don't know how to take life seriously, and that's a very good point. And they're so busy. Chinese are not. They don't care about microaggressions, and they don't care about racism, and they don't care about transgender mispronouncing people, and they're powering ahead in every field of human endeavor. Here, America is ground down, and Facebook is spending more energy dealing with allegedly finding misinformation rather than producing the next innovation. We've become a country where
because the left only knows how to destroy. Liberals build, conservatives build, left destroys. I know the left really, really well. That was my field of study. I learned Russian to read Pravda, went to communist countries. All of my life I'm studying the left. And that's a rule. They only destroy. Name one thing other than the state, a bigger government, that the left has ever built. Mm-hmm. They only tear down.
Yeah. And they're making a big effort to do that with Thanksgiving. And
they're making a big effort to do it, with America.
The New York Times this week had an article about Thanksgiving and about how awful
That's correct.
it is.
It's an awful holiday.
An awful holiday. And
that's right.
And in fact, the headline was "The Myth of Thanksgiving," this perpetuating of the myth of...
That's
and
correct.
One part of the article where they talked to some professor who talked about the Thanksgiving massacre, which basically is where the lovely woke young one goes home to the family and basically brings the proper ideas to the family Thanksgiving, basically saying, this is all rubbish, this is all terrible.
Right. So now here's the thing. When I say they only destroy, let's use this example. So they hope to destroy Thanksgiving, but they won't create a left-wing Thanksgiving.
No.
See, they never have something instead. It's like, let's destroy the Boy Scouts. Is there a left-wing Boy Scouts? No. Let's destroy, you name it. They don't have anything of their own. So it's like a tsunami of destruction, the left.
Yeah. It
has no redeeming virtue. It's an amazing thing. Liberals have redeeming virtues. Conservatives do. There is no redeeming virtue to a leftist.
And they've destroyed the arts. So, for example, the theatre. I just read a really great essay by David Mamet talking about this very issue, where he talked about the theatre that has gone woke now. They've destroyed theatre. Theatre is not about sending a message to anyone. It's art. It's a piece of art. And the minute that you impose messaging on art, it's gone. Art was never for that.
Well, art has messages, but it's not their message. Their message is there is no art. the message of art was there is beauty.
Yes.
Okay, there is profundity.
Yeah.
They don't believe there is beauty. The New York Times last year or 2 years ago had a gigantic review of a series of sculptures at a Dutch. I think it was a Dutch museum, very big museum of turds. Literally, that's the term, giant turds. So this is considered art on the left at the New York Times, worthy of a serious discussion that the sculpted fecal matter was bigger than the person reviewing it.
Yeah. So you were talking about the New York Times there, and they think it's a myth created. This was the New York Times, a myth created to make white people feel comfortable.
Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's what they said. There was an event that happened in 1621, but the whole story about what occurred on that first Thanksgiving was a myth created to make white people feel comfortable.
I don't feel very comfortable.
As a white person? Why not?
Maybe it's good.
It's a very nice sofa, this, by the way.
No, in general, in the world at the moment.
Well, your comfort equals the discomfort of all others. That's their view. You shouldn't be. You should just be atoning for your whititude. By the way, why that is not racist? If you said all of any other group other than whites, it would be, and correctly, perceived as racist.
Yeah.
All blacks, all Hispanics, all Asians, but you could say all whites, anything you want.
So in this season of Thanksgiving, I mean, obviously gratitude is a huge thing and you've spoken about gratitude a lot, and you have your happiness hour. Tell us how the happiness hour started.
So I wrote a book on happiness in 1998. Happiness is a serious problem. And it did very well because it should. It's a good book. I gave a lot of courses on happiness. That's a whole story unto itself. It would take too long. How I ever even ended up writing a book on happiness. I thought, I'm going to give it a try. In 1999, on my show, I said, I'm going to devote the next hour to happiness. And if it works, maybe I'll consider doing it every week. Mm-hmm. And it worked. And I've been doing it every week since 1999. Never missed a week. There was nothing that happens. I've canceled the male-female hour. I've canceled the Ultimate Issues hour, my two other specialty hours. I've never canceled the happiness hour.
And you famously did it after 9/11.
Right. Well, and famously did it now.
Yes.
All through the lockdown.
Yes.
It's not it's not COVID that's the catastrophe.
No,
it's the lockdown.
It's the lockdown.
And what have you actually, talking of the lockdown? Have you learned something new about the world during this period?
I did actually, and all of it is depressing.
Yes, sure.
I learned that this was the land of the free and the home of the brave, and that is not true for half of my fellow Americans, who are not brave. They're cowards. They are afraid of life, literally afraid of life. Not just afraid of death, afraid of life.
Yeah,
and will obey orders, no matter how irrational, as soon as they get the order. This is not Remember, 1968-69, what was called the Hong Kong flu, when you could actually name a virus after the place of origin, killed 160,000 Americans in population terms of today. Not one restaurant, not one baseball game. That was when Woodstock took place. The least social distancing in human history.
That's right. I think that's an accurate description.
Yes. Because they understood, you know what, this is a tragedy, but the tragedies happen. The modern secular and especially left sensibility is utopia is possible. Yeah. So we will prevent, listen, Andrew Cuomo, who I truly believe is a stupid man, and I hate to say this.
I think he's a bad man too.
Yes, I think that is true.
But his overwhelming vice is stupidity, unfortunately.
Well, it's arrogance, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
right. So it's tough to say what's the overriding
They're
characteristic.
all
is.
competing with
They
him.
do
Yeah.
compete with one another.
The stupidity
And when
allows them to be arrogant.
Yes, that's right. He announced, if I have the words in my mind because I played it so often, when he locked down everything and people were losing their jobs in the millions, if everything I have done saves one life,
Yeah, I remember
I
this.
will be happy.
I remember this.
So you realize that is a truly foolish attitude.
Yes.
Every time we raise the speed limit, we know thousands of people will die.
Yes.
You do not make policy based on will anybody die. That is not the way you make social policy.
And this is Andrew Cuomo, by the way, who also signed into legislation the
Well-
ability to kill babies up to 9 months.
And a bit.
And a bit.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's the same guy. But I mean, no, he is...
And he's Catholic.
Oh, apparently so. But there's a lot of Catholics like him around.
I
here,
know.
you
I'm just saying the
Oh, I
irony.
thought that was a dig there, huh?
No, it was. It was
I
a
thought
dig
that
at
was a dig.
Cuomo, not at the Catholics.
But it's also... I saw somebody else saying a similar thing, a kind of a quite celebrated doctor who talked about Thanksgiving. We should all behave very correctly at Thanksgiving. Be very careful because, zero... You need to do zero harm. Zero harm. And I'm thinking, imagine that as a life mission. Do zero harm. You know...
No.
Yeah,
then you don't leave bed.
You never leave the house.
No. It's... That's... Who said that?
Some doctor. I saw him on Twitter. He has loads of followers. And I just wrote and said, is that...
Well,
is
wait a
that
minute.
suddenly
So,
the new
wait.
message
Well,
from medical?
by the way, if that's your view, then why is there a lockdown?
Yeah.
The staggering amount of harm...
Oh, yeah.
Hundreds of millions of people around the world are closer to starvation because of the lockdown.
We interviewed someone in Ireland this
Today.
morning.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and we heard. I mean, we thought we knew a
All
lot.
the worst things.
So, in March, they stopped mammograms in Ireland
Why?
because it became
COVID.
COVID. Everything became COVID.
Right. So you don't enter a hospital? Is that it?
Yeah. So there was all the staff or something being devoted to COVID. They stopped.
So
doing
now
mammograms.
women are dying of breast cancer.
So, and they only started them again 2 weeks ago. There are 200 to 300 women every month in Ireland, it's a small country, diagnosed with breast cancer, mostly through mammograms. So 1,200 women have not been diagnosed with breast
That's right,
cancer. Now.
yes.
And it says it's going to take 3 years to catch. And he says, now they said it's going to take 3 years to clear the backlog. And I'm going, what, with breast cancer, 3 years. The only way they're going to find out whether is an autopsy. You know, you ain't got 3 years for untreated breast cancer. It's an autopsy.
I know
It's
a
not
young
mammogram.
man who died of a drug overdose. There's no question it was COVID and lockdown related because the person who was playing such a great role in his life could not visit him anymore.
Yeah. And then people just giving up because... as you
And
say,
giving up, of
older
course.
people who aren't allowed to see their family.
Oh, well, that we're talking sadism.
Yeah.
I can't believe my aunt, whom I dearly loved, she's one of the relatives I really loved. Not everybody loves all their relatives,
Yes.
so this is not exactly a scandal.
Oh, don't tell me about it.
But she was what? Yeah, you agree.
I do.
Right. So she was in her 90s, totally lucid, funny, lucid. She didn't have a visitor for half a year and just died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But she died of heartache.
Oh, yeah. Dreadful.
They killed her.
Yeah.
The lockdown, the doctors killed her.
Yeah.
The medical establishment killed her. The epidemiologists killed her.
I hope they have a Nuremberg trials for this,
yes,
for what happened
if not
here.
on
the
this
decisions
world,
people
then in the
made
next
here.
world.
It is unbelievable. So so this year, what are you going to be thankful for despite all of it?
Oh, well, look, I am, people say to me all the time, God bless you, Dennis. And I have a standard answer. He has.
Yes.
So I walk around, I can't believe I have such a wonderful family life. It's so easy to have misery in your family. My 2 boys are doing wonderfully, and thank God they're conservative. I'm not joking.
No,
I
exactly.
talk to parents whose kids have become leftist,
And they're so unhappy.
and they're alienated from the parents as a result.
Yes.
And my heart breaks for these people.
Yeah.
To have your child really believe that America is a cesspool, how sick.
Yeah.
How did my child get so sick?
Yeah.
Morally sick.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my kids are wonderful. I have 2 grandkids. They're wonderful. I have a great wife. I have great stepsons. My cup runneth over. I have a great job. I get tremendous satisfaction. I mean, so that's why when people say every phone call, you know, in America, you don't say hello, you go, how are you? So they go, how are you, Dennis? And I have an answer. I go, better than my country.
Oh, God.
That's my standard answer now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we can say, for example, that every time we've gone out for dinner with you, many times gone out for dinner, and I think it must be something really wonderful for you, that someone will come up. We'll see them. I always, in the back of the restaurant, you'll see some guy kind of juking back and forth, and then he'll come up. And I remember the last guy. I'm trying to think what nationality he was, but he basically came up and said, you know, like, my whole life. You changed my whole life.
And my son.
And do you mind? Can I get a photograph taken with you now? And you're always so gracious with those people. And I just thought, but it happens every time.
And that was Prager U, which is a whole new.
Right.
I mean,
another
most
realm.
people save their best act or do their best
Right.
work in their 30s or 40s.
That's another
or 50s.
reason I'm so lucky and grateful. That's correct. I mean, at my age, to have my career just keep going up,
Yes.
I don't lose sight of how lucky I am on any given day.
Yeah.
So,
and my young friend Vaughn, who you phoned him for his birthday, which was super kind, but he was in school and the teachers, he was maybe, I don't know what age he was then, or 8 or 9 then, and the teacher was talking about university and all of this, and Vaughn, and where would you go? And people were saying different places, and then Vaughn said, I want to go to Prager U. And I remember I said that at the Prager, one of the Prager events, and I just thought, because it's such a great story and it's true. And then it came up to his birthday, and I thought, I was driving over to their house and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this. And I got in touch with you and you very kindly phoned him. And we're watching this boy, Vaughn, walking around and everything. And like, because you had the big chat with him and the whole story, found out about everything. And they're
sweet.
still so grateful, the family.
so your listeners, your viewers should know about PragerU for their kids.
Yes.
We have a billion views a year and 65% are under 35. That is a tremendous help to parents to undo some of the poison of the schools. 5-minute videos, so it doesn't tax their patience, and given by very classy people.
Yeah. Covering everything.
Everything, except the natural sciences. We don't give a course in botany.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Not yet.
I don't see that. I don't know how you can
Well, wait till the leftists destroy botany.
No, they could do
Oh, yeah, you're right.
No, they'll do it.
No, they will.
Yeah.
Because they'll, well, look, in the sciences, thousands of people in the sciences said that you have to social distance. But if you demonstrate against racism, that's a health benefit.
That's right.
They said that.
They said
thousands.
That. No. It's thousands of epidemiologists. So
it's been poisoned.
Don't be thinking that you won't be doing a PragerU video on.
We can see botany
right,
next.
on epidemiology, certainly. Botany, I'm not sure.
Never underestimate the ability of the left to destroy everything, as you
yes,
right. Say. So, California, you're here. Everyone else is gone out there.
Right.
Out there, it's empty.
It's just us. We're all the ones that are left now.
Yes.
So why are you staying?
Well, first of all, I am, but and I'll give you the reason in a moment. They're right in leaving. By the way, add California to the list of things the left has destroyed.
Yes.
This was the most vibrant, free, go west, young man. Mm-hmm. This was it. California was freedom. It was surfing. It was enjoy your life, get a convertible and let the wind hit your face. And now it's a depressed prison.
Yes.
It's fecal matter all over San Francisco. It's homeless all over every major city. They've ruined it. You wouldn't think California could be ruined, but the left does. They stand for nothing but destruction. That's the point people have to understand. So why am I staying? Because so many people I love are here. I'm a people person. Mm-hmm. And until it becomes impossible to stay, which may happen. Mm-hmm. For example, if the president were declared the victor of the last election, President Trump were, California might have voted to secede. I would have voted in favor of California seceding and then moved.
Good luck. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No. Listen, I dream of I hate to say it because I love America, but the gulf between the two is so great. It's unbridgeable. I dream of a red states and blue states America. And then, in 50 years, let's see what works. By the way, we now already know Florida works, so New Yorkers go and ruin it.
Yeah.
Arizona worked, so Californians went and ruined it. That's what happens.
Yeah.
These moron lefties and moron liberals in this case, because they all vote left, they flee states ruined by the left and then use the same politics to ruin the state that hasn't been ruined.
So how do the red states stay red?
It's maybe 10 million. The 10 million Republicans of California need to move.
Yeah, that's what's going to see. When we first came here, everyone was moving, right? It wasn't in the last 6 months with BLM and COVID, and that it's conservatives now who are moving. They can't handle it. Everyone was moving previously. People were retiring. It's cheaper. They'd sell up here, but now. We've never seen.
If you asked a leftist, "Are you happy that conservatives are leaving?" they would be thrilled.
Yeah.
And so that's the one thing we could agree on. We're thrilled to leave, and you're thrilled to have us leave.
But we're all here.
That's right.
We're the last people.
By the way, there are a lot of us. I mean,
yes.
because the state is so gigantic, there will be a lot.
Yeah.
What was it? 1/3 voted for Donald Trump. Or what do they claim?
I don't know.
It was more, exactly. It was a lot more than I would have thought in
Really?
California.
Well, as you say, there's a lot of anomalies in this election. Allegedly, more people voted for Joe Biden than Barack Obama. So really, Biden was carrying Obama all these years,
Yeah, right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
I think we've come to the end. Actually, I love the fact, by the way, one kind of random factoid, that Joe Biden just had a birthday, and Bill Clinton was the president 20 years ago. And Bill Clinton is still younger than Joe Biden.
That is a very interesting factoid.
Isn't that extraordinary? And unfortunately, I do think we're going to have Joe Biden as the president of the United States. And I think I haven't processed it.
That is why everything must be done to elect the Republicans in Georgia.
Yes.
See, if he doesn't have the Senate, the amount of damage he can do is limited. He can do a lot of damage as president, but the amount is limited.
Yeah.
And look, if there are enough riots, I think the riots cost them a lot of votes.
Yeah.
Defund police.
Yeah.
Most Americans, most liberals think that's moronic.
Yes.
You have to be a leftist.
And what
to
do you do? I mean, what do you do if you live
police.
in? What do you do if you live in Portland? I mean, you can't be loving that.
I do. You know what? They seem to love it.
I think they're moving to Boise. I think a lot of them are moving to Boise.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I hope they're only the conservatives.
Yeah. Listen, we've come to the end. This has been so fabulous, as always.
It's always fast with you.
We're so... We see, look at us.
How long? I mean, how long were we on
I don't know how long we've been, but I'm just thinking we're going to get... Oh, yeah, because we're going to have some problems getting into a restaurant if we don't. It's now 10 past...
We've got a curfew.
10 by 7, we've got a curfew, so we've got to wrap up because we do want to go out for dinner. But I just want to say... Again, we're so grateful for you and for your friendship.
Grateful for you.
And I remember the first time we were interviewed by you, and I always remembered, and you were very, very complimentary of our documentary and all of that. And then you said, I love you guys. We're going to, we're friends now. So we're going to be, these going to be my great friends, whatever. And I thought, yeah, people say that kind of thing. And then you came off air and you went, so we'll go out for dinner then? When are we going to go out for dinner?
I never say, let's have dinner. We'll have dinner one day and not mean it.
Yeah. Well, we know that now.
Yeah.
But we didn't know it then.
That is correct.
And we're very grateful.
It's easy to fall in love with you guys.
Well, thank you.
And I fell in love with you through your very first documentary, right? On the water, on
Frack Nation.
Frack Nation.
Frack Nation. I just think of it and I crack up. It was so effective because it was so funny.
Oh,
thank you
that was
so
the plan.
much.
That was the plan. What do you hear about our next project, which is we're cooking away, which we won't be telling people about.
We won't tell them just yet. But tomorrow we're not going to have virus, just to let everyone know. There's no daily virus tomorrow, Thursday. On Thursday, on Thursday Thanksgiving, we will not be having a daily virus. And we are very thankful to everyone who tunes into our podcasts. And we are very grateful that you allowed us into your home again.
My honor.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. Bye.